Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring. And hello again, dear ones. Dr. Robert with you here on a Friday evening. It's 5 o'clock on the Mountain Time Zone, and that means it is time for the good news. That opportunity I get each week to share some of the good news stories that I have found across the internet and help us remember we really are all in this together, and each one of us is valuable in doing what we do to make the world a better place. Companies and organizations included. Hey, and I always like to remind everybody at the start of the show, if you find a good news story you'd like to share, or if you'd like to come on the program and share a good news story with our audience, please send us an email, goodnews@ntmedia.org. That's goodnews@ntmedia.org. We'd love to hear from you. All right, first story up tonight. One of those things you guys all know I love to follow. Now, what I've learned is the most durable plastic polymers on the planet are the kind of things that don't recycle. We call them thermosets. And you can think of these as the plastics that are found in things like bowling balls and hip replacements, car tires, and eventually either get thrown in landfills or need to be incinerated. The cross-linked polymer structure of these thermosets is you can't break it down. So there's no way to recycle it. Well, at Cornell University, an institution that's typically in the news for its research into birds, chemists have identified a way to polymerize one of the simplest enol esters in nature. The cross-link structure is completed with a petroleum-based thermoset for durability. And so these, they're called DHF thermosets. The difference is these can be broken back down into monomers and therefore recycled. Brett Forrest, one of the chemistry professors that of the study, said we've spent 100 years trying to make polymers that last forever and now realize that's not actually a good thing. Now we're making polymers that don't last forever that can environmentally degrade. The DHF thermosets had similar properties to automotive weather stripping, running shoe soles, and garden hoses, products that are typically made from higher density polyurethane and ethylene propylene. And those are also cross-linked thermosets. So as well as being recyclable, the product will break down in the natural environment. It's not as quick as other things, but it does happen. So it's good news in the world of polymers. I love it. I love it. I love it. Here's another one. In the world of, oh my gosh, we can do that now? A heart pump no bigger than a fountain pen has just been approved by the FDA for use in children, having already saved adult lives in a revolutionary way. Cardiologists don't even need to open up someone's chest cavity to install what is known as the Impella 5.5, the world's smallest heart pump. It can keep a heart going during critical moments of heart failure or cardiogenic shock. 21-year-old Katrina Penny was born with a congenital heart defect, and the transplant she received also failed when she was 19. Now, for 5 weeks, the Impella kept the failed heart pumping while a second heart transplant was secured. Katrina Penny told local Philadelphia news outlet, "It does all the work for your heart. It saved my life. It did save my life 100%. And I named my Impella Ella." I love it, Katrina. Thank you. That's cute. It's very useful, she said, in the sense that it actually can be implantable without opening the chest. We're excited. This is a real game changer. The pump component in the Impella only consists of the very tip of the device, making it the size of a fingertip. Something Penny says makes her whole ordeal seem rather unbelievable. Yes, it is. I'm glad you're with us, Penny, and thank you to the doctors that have been working on this. Obviously, this is not something that happens overnight. Hey, folks, we get most of our stories over at the goodnewsnetwork.org. They do a great job of curating good news stories throughout the week. We invite you to drop over and check them out, catch some of the good news stories that they share, give them some love and attention that they deserve as well. Hey, here's our first oh my goshy story of the night. I want to introduce you to Kendall Poole. Now, Kendall was born deaf. Her mother, Bree, recently on TikTok discovered what are called caption glasses. Now, Kendall, has only communicated with American Sign Language since the age of about 6 months. And these glasses, which her mom dropped about $1,500 on, allow her to see conversations in real time. The glasses transcribe speech using a phone-based app into words in real time and displays them on the lens of the glasses. She gave the glasses to Kendall as a surprise gift on her birthday. She had no idea what was about to happen. The caption glasses, developed by HearView, use, again, a Bluetooth app, and it has a special voice recognition technology that transcribes the spoken words onto a tiny screen embedded inside the glasses' lenses. Not only do they allow Kendall to follow conversations more easily, but they help her practice speaking by testing whether her own words appear correctly on the screen. Bree said she can't hear herself speak, so she sees using the glasses to check if she's pronouncing words correctly. 10-year-old is the only deaf person in her family and has sometimes struggled to understand why she's so different. These glasses, her mom said, are doing a great job already in helping dear Kendall feel more at home in the family. Congratulations, Kenda. HearView. We're going to keep an eye on that company and see if we can find some more good news stories from them as well. And here's a story that we've spoken of a little bit in the past. You may remember we've spoken of biochar. Well, researchers at the University of Waterloo have discovered that biochar is highly effective at absorbing chromium and transforming it from a toxic industrial waste into the form seen in nutritional supplements. Yup. Here's the science. Chromium is a heavy metal that exists in two forms. One, chromium-3, is a safe micronutrient that our body needs. The other, chromium-6, is a dangerous carcinogen linked to ovarian, lung, and liver cancer and reproductive problems. The dangerous form is usually created during industrial processes such as leather tanning, stainless steel production, and mining, but it can also occur naturally in the presence of manganese minerals. Biochar, a form of charcoal produced by heating agricultural waste without oxygen, is being studied as a potential tool for cleaning up chromium pollution at industrial sites using the natural filtering ability of organic carbon. Philip Bundemer, a PhD candidate in Earth and Environmental Sciences at the University of Waterloo in Canada, wanted to know what happens when water contaminated with chromium-6 is mixed with an oak-based biochar. The first thing Budimir noticed was that the biochar acted like activated charcoal in a water filter, soaking up the chromium and preventing it from leaching into the soil. We're happy to see that the majority of what we were finding in the biochar grains was chromium-3 and not chromium-6, says Budimir. The researcher also found that the chromium isotopes changed during the removal of the chromium-6 from the water. The lighter chromium isotopes were removed faster and converted from 6 to 3 more easily. Wow. I know it sounds a lot. And the full research is published in the journal Chemosphere if you'd like to learn more. Things are happening underground, says Budimir, that we're not sure what, but testing the isotopes can give us an idea of what is happening and if the process is working or not. Sounds like the process is working to make it easier to clean groundwater of contaminated sites. That sounds like good news to me. Folks, I want to thank you for being with us, and I want to ask you to hold on for just a minute while we run a few messages, let you know a little bit more about some of the things happening here on the New Thought Media Network. I'm going to grab a sip of water, and we're going to be back in just a minute or so with more good news stories here on the New Thought Media Network. Please hit the like, share, and subscribe buttons. Let your friends and family know what we're doing out here. We'd love to have them involved and watching with us as well. All right, I'll be right back after these messages.
New Thought Media Network proudly presents the 2025 Season for Nonviolence 64-day meditation series, January 30th through April 4th. New meditations published daily at 6 a.m. Eastern Time on our YouTube channel. Join us as we carry the vision of a world that works for all. Only on New Thought Media Network. Learn more at www.ntmedia.org.
Join our celebration of Black History Month. Only on New Thought Media Network. New videos every day at 6 a.m. Eastern Time, or watch anytime on our YouTube channel. 28 unique Black History moments. Every day in February. Only on New Thought Media Network.
And we're back with more of the good news here on the New Thought Media Network. I'm Reverend Robert. Thanks for joining us here this evening. You know, one of the things we love to do here on the good news is focus on the natural world. We look at human life as a replication, if you will, and can be perceived through what happens in the natural world. And so we've got a whole series of stories here for you tonight. I think you're going to like that help us see how things are going well and going right in the natural world. First up, a story we've reported on previously over in UK, the Geltsdale Reserve north of Cumbria, northern England, has been increased. Now, it was the largest bird reserve in England. It has been increased by about 33%, or over 13,000. It's up to now over 13,500 acres of moorlands, meadows, blanket bogs, and woodlands. It's owned and operated by the Royal Society for the Protection of Birds. It is one of the last places in Britain where one can see the hen harrier in its natural habitat, and birds of every description and conservation status inhabit the reserve. It's also a UNESCO geopark for its unique geological formations. Becky Spiley, the RSPB's chief executive said this is going to be a reserve on a different scale from many of the other sites in England. We're going to achieve an abundance of species and a size that will be unmatched for bird reserves elsewhere. It's going to demonstrate what is possible when it comes to rewilding and protecting birds. Geltdale abounds in black grouse, redshank, nightjar, snipe, windchat, curlews, ospreys, short-eared owls, and lapwings. Bird watchers will know what I'm talking about. It's all dispersed across a vertical rise of 650 meters, and it is now the biggest in England. And that size makes such a difference when you walk through the reserve during breeding season, and they say it's incredible to see the swarms of bird life. Speaking with The Guardian, Dave Morris, the RSPB's area operations manager, said that the society will work with local ranchers whose properties overlap with the reserve to implement a GPS monitoring invisible fencing system for local cattle. Now, I didn't know this, but traditional wooden fencing is actually hazardous to low-flying smaller birds, like many that inhabit the area. The closer the animal comes, so they've developed a high-pitched collar for the larger animals to wear. As the cattle come closer to the invisible fence, the tone gets louder, and they do receive a very low-level electric shock, it says. Does not say the shock gets more stronger, but the sound gets louder as the animals get closer to the fence. An innovative idea in England and allowing for a true rewilding of the area. Hey, here's another good nature story, and I love this one because turns out there were a whole bunch of land managers in Czechoslovakia fighting over how to preserve and bring a certain piece of property back to life. Well, the beavers decided they didn't like waiting any longer and stepped in. Management staff were looking for planning permission for a dam and a reservoir project on the Vltava River Basin. But the process was getting held up in bureaucracy. Beavers are said to be second only to humans in their ability to transform the ecosystem in which they live. The colony that built the dam predominantly overnight is believed to consist of just 8 animals. The military forest management and the Vltava River Basin were negotiating with each other to set up the project and address issues regarding ownership of the land. But the beavers said no. They didn't file any permits. They didn't ask for any permission. They just came in overnight, built a dam exactly where the humans wanted it. I love how that happens. A local official said beavers always know best. The place where they build dams are always chosen just right. Better than when we design it on paper, even. Good news for the beavers in Czechoslovakia. You gotta love that one. And here is one more, folks. This one was just too adorable not to share with you tonight. Oh, look at this little cat. Cats are wearing hats for science. You researchers are using brain scans to understand pain in arthritic felines and hoping to find a way to soothe that pain. Now, this is a world first for veterinary students at the University of Montreal. They found a way to scan the brains of cats while they're still awake. They're using electrodes that are concealed under the specially knitted wool caps, as you see here. The chronic pain associated with osteoarthritis affects over 25% of the adult feline population, and this incident increases with age. Researchers are seeking to understand how cats experience the chronic pain, and they wanted to create a non-invasive method to study their brains. Now, in the past, any electrodes they attempted to attach to the cat's head, the cats would just chew them off. Didn't like that. They eventually, through the use of these knitted caps, were able to open up a study. This opens new avenues for investigating chronic pain mechanisms and developing novel therapeutic strategies, according to the report. They will be looking at further funding to continue their research, and we'll keep an eye out on that story as well, folks. Looking for more good news stories to come, helping our kitty friends not feel so bad when they're in their later years. All right, we're going to take another quick break. Give you a little more information. Let me put my tongue back in my mouth properly, but we're going to be right back with more, including this week's Hero of the Week. You don't want to miss that. We'll be back right after this. Stay with us. Stay tuned. Please help us say thank you to our organizational sponsors, including the Hefferland Foundation, Affiliated New Thought Network, International New Thought Alliance, Science of Mind Archives and Library Foundation, Center for Spiritual Living Denver, Center for Spiritual Living Midtown, New Thought Philadelphia, Planned Happiness Institute, Summit Center for Spiritual Living, One Heart Retreats, Center for Spiritual Living on the Lake, Unity Kitchener, Unity Spiritual Center, Ottawa, Om Center for Spiritual Living, Satya Center, Begin Within Ministries, Center for Spiritual Living North Jersey, Unity of Savannah, and the Center for Spiritual Living Seattle, as well as all of our individual donors. Thank you for being part of the New Thought Media Network. Please like, share, and subscribe. New Thought Media Network, positively inspiring. Yes. Thank you to all of our individual sponsors and organizational donors. We love and appreciate everything you do to help us bring these mighty messages, this programming, and all of our programming out to a broader audience. If you'd like to learn more about becoming part of the New Thought Media Network financial family, head on over to our website, ntmedia.org. Click on that donate button and learn more. All right, back into the good news as we come into the home stretch, where we often like to talk about the good thing that people are doing, or in this case, the good thing you can do to be good people. Now, visiting friends, going to parties, and attending church or community bingo games can help keep your brain healthy. And this is according to research conducted at Rush University that shows frequent social activity may help prevent or delay dementia in older age. In the study, we show that the least socially active older adults develop dementia an average of 5 years before the most socially active. This is Brian James, PhD, author of the study and professor of internal medicine at Rush University. Social activity can strengthen the neural circuits in the brain, making them more resistant to the buildup of pathology that occurs with age. Social behaviors activate the brain areas of the brain involved in thinking and memory. All this was published in Alzheimer's and online in Alzheimer's and Dementia, the Journal of the Alzheimer's Association. And it suggests that frequent social activity points to a 38% reduction in dementia risk and a 21% reduction in mild cognitive impairment risk compared with the least socially active. Sounds like being a hermit might not be a good idea, folks. Time to get out and use it or lose it. Let's stay socially active and let's have a good time about it. And you know, our next story really brings that home. I want to introduce you to Ruth Slinchinska. I'm saying that close, I believe. Ruth just recently, January 15th, turns 100 years old, and she is the last living pupil of Sergei Rachmaninoff, the Russian pianist. She still performs wearing a Fabergé egg necklace that the legendary Russian musician had gifted her during her studies. Despite being 100, Ruth continues to play. Recently, she was at the Chopin International Festival and Friends of the Polish Embassy in New York City. Now, that was back in 2021. She recorded videos to celebrate Beethoven's birthday while during the lockdown years. And then just a couple years back now, recorded a new album. Who ever heard of a pianist my age making another album, she said. Music is meant to bring joy. If mine still brings joy to people, then it is doing what it is supposed to do. Oh my gosh. Releasing albums at 97, still playing at 100. Congratulations, Ruth. You are doing it. And that's what we're talking about, folks. Staying active, staying involved, keeping the mind working. It's all important. And hey, even more important, just showing up to be a good person. We want to start tonight. We want to share tonight. Iowa middle schooler honored for a life-saving act of kindness. It's all happened in Ankeny, Iowa. Carter Lejuti, I hope I'm saying that close, Carter. I'm probably not. Started a simple conversation with a fellow student. What he didn't know at the time, however, was that his classmate had been planning to commit suicide. Officers later confirmed that the student had it all planned out, and Carter's kindness made him reconsider. The moment of connection changed everything, and this is true for all of us, folks. A simple moment of connection can change everything. Well, last week, Carter was recognized for his life-saving gesture at the Ankeny School Board meeting. He was presented with an award that read, "No act of kindness, no matter how small, is ever wasted." Humbled by the recognition, Carter told a local news outlet that he's simply grateful his classmate is now thriving, and his story serves as a powerful reminder that kindness, even in its simplest forms, can make all the difference. I want to remind everybody that in the United States, we now have a national suicide hotline. Call 988, 3 digits, 988 for any mental health need, and you'll be connected. You can also reach out to them through a chat mechanism. If you look that online, we didn't have that chat number at time of we published. So 988 if you're having any concerns with mental health or suicide ideations. All right, folks, it's that time. All right, it's here, our hero of the week. This week's hero of the week comes all the way from Jackson Township, Ohio. A routine morning took a heroic turn when Todd Morris, a former police officer and school bus driver for Jackson Local Schools, ran into a burning home to save his students' beloved dogs. Morris was heading home after an appointment on a school closure day when he spotted unusual smoke near fire station number 2. "I was actually looking at the fire station number 2, our firehouse," he said. "That's not chimney smoke," I recalled. As he got closer, he saw flames pouring from a second-story window. Realizing the home belonged to a family on his bus route, Morris immediately sprang into action, parked his vehicle, called 911, and rushed towards the home. "There wasn't a lot of forethought running down the yard. The mission was to get to the kids," he said. Despite thick smoke, he repeatedly entered the house, calling out for the children. "I was still yelling for the kids. Eventually, I started to go upstairs, and I was getting pretty thick smoke upstairs. I couldn't even tell what room the fire was in, but I could see the fire was starting to get worse," he said. "I went out to get another fresh breath of air, came in and looked down, and found both the dogs were sitting at the bottom of the stairs with a deer in the headlight kind of look." Morris coaxed the dogs to safety, carrying one of them, who had special needs, out of the house, and thankfully none of the children were at home. Morris says he was in the vicinity following several delays in his other appointments that morning, but believes he was where he was meant to be at the time. "Something put me there in the right place at the right time, and I was just there at the right time, and I just acted based on what we knew," he said. Congratulations, sir. Thank you, Todd Morris. You are our hero of the week. doing a great job out there, saving the puppy dogs, running into a burning building. Congratulations. Thank you, sir. All right, folks, that's all we've got time for tonight. Thanks for being with us. Please come back in about a half an hour, or ever Michael will be here with the fireside chat. And of course, we've got our evening prayers at 8:15 Mountain Time. Do remember tomorrow morning, bright and early, prayer time at 8:15, and our Science of Mind and Spirit conversation series gets kicked off at 9 a.m. I'm Dr. Robert. Until next time, I want to wish you peace and richest blessings. Bye now.